this here. This might take longer than 40 minutes.
Nah, it's gonna have to. We are 2 weeks without recording. Last week we had,
Right.
we had construction happening.
I was thinking of Sato fitness. Caught an injury on my leg.
Yeah, you would.
Road, like the Dalesford Road. You know those tracks besides the road, because there was like a lot of traffic on the main road. So I had to go outside. Hey,
What shoe are you wearing,
stones
bro,
in that.
when you're running?
Oh, next.
Like, yeah,
Next.
not bad.
It's not bad.
It's
Right?
all right. It's all right.
Yeah,
It's
I
all
haven't
right.
graduated to the Nike New Balance Adidas levels.
Yeah, you'll get there. When you do, you will never go
I'll-
down. You'll never go down.
And they're just too expensive.
No, but they'll last you forever.
Yeah, and then Nike is affordable. Yes. NB is something else.
New Balance. My first running shoe was a Vazi.
I don't know.
New
that
Balance. New Balance
Okay.
Vazi. It was just next to Fresh Foam Zante. But I ran with that shoe for quite a while. Second shoe was an Adidas Spring Blade. But that wasn't that. Adidas, I got new pair.
You know, someone is into like sports like that. If they know the names like this, the only
Spring Blade. If you look at a Spring Blade, it's like this shoe, and then it had like these springs.
oh, these ones.
Yeah,
Oh,
that.
okay.
Yeah, I had
I
a
think
Spring
I know
Blade.
that.
Got that from Canada. My next shoe was an Alpha Bounce. Like an Adidas Alpha
Oh,
Bounce.
it's all I did.
Yeah. And then went to Power. Power actually,
Power.
Butter had this Power
Oh,
shoe
la,
that was nice, bro.
Yeah, I remember
It was
that
a
shoe.
green.
Was it comfortable? I
It
know
was
that
nice.
shoe.
It was really nice.
Oh.
It didn't last as long. Then went to a Puma. Just don't remember the name. Lasted quite a while. Then went
Ever
to
changing brands.
no. You have to look at what's popping
Oh.
on the market. What's comfortable for your. I used to run, bro. I used to be an avid runner, that. And I used to pack kind of 100 Ks per month, easy. That was 42 Ks. Then I from my sleep, bab. But I had
That has always been my target, but I can't seem to.
You just have to do it.
I
If you
don't know
don't
if I
do it,
will-
you would never.
After this injury in the Rangoti, guys, I think 30 Ks is enough for me.
That's right.
I can't go further.
Go to Vic Falls. Let's go to Vic Falls this year.
I was planning on going next year. This year I didn't register in everything.
Nah, man, you
I
can
think
register on the
time-
day, man. You can
For
register
real.
literally the day before. And when you get
Is
to
it
Vic
not
Falls,
in June
it's
or
in July, first
July?
weekend, first Sunday of July, every year.
We might make it happen. I might run maybe a half marathon.
I'll run the 42, easy.
That ain't me. That ain't me.
So right now I'm on what am I running with at the moment? I've got an Essex Nimbus 20, and I've got
Sounds so fancy. Like
but
Nimbus
now on
20.
24.
You know
I think
Nimbus from what do you call this? From Harry Potter. Nimbus
the-
3000.
And then there's then I've got a what's that? I don't know what the orange one is, but it's a top brand. And then I think the ultimate shoe, bro, is the Ultra Boost. Adidas.
Oh, I've once used my Boost, like the Yeezys though. That was the most comfortable
Boss,
shoe I've ever had.
I've got that shoe. I got it for a bargain. It does not leave my foot. That shoe is Ujipeka, so get a robust, and then it learns your foot, and then just bruh.
Well, I'll think about it. I'll see which is my next shoe after Mixed. But I was thinking Nike New Balance.
Nah,
Balance.
Adidas isn't that. Adidas, Hoka.
I'm not a fan of the
Saucony.
whole like Adidas brand. Not that I don't wear Adidas anything,
Essex.
but I just don't.
I don't like Nike. I hate like them Povo. They Povo.
Negro, please. But hey, what's up? What you been
Yo,
up
chance,
to?
bro. Yo,
What's a
bro.
one good people? It's your boy.
Oh, we forgot to greet. Yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy Shuggy, your plans base playing pop, and I'm chilling with the one and only.
And we're here to mystify your life.
You know what it is.
Doing one thing and one
Couple
thing
of
only.
shout outs we need to do.
Hey. No, shout out my nigga Andile. Shepi.
Separo. Shout out to
My number one
Maggie.
fan.
Shout out to Munya. Shout out to Tafadzwa. Shout out to Alan.
Hey, you've got a lot of.
People just then land up and say, hey, what up, guys?
I think you meet a lot of people than me.
I think because they know you, they will not like hit you up as much as when they see you, it's like, oh, this is the guy. Whereas with you, they know you. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
it's just like
they know me personally. It's like someone I talk to every day.
Yeah, it's just like maybe a friend of mine that doesn't know you and me. It's like, I know you, but I know you from the podcast with. So I'm getting to know your people, bro. You know a lot of people.
Hey, shout out to our fans, bro. And
you know a lot of people. We can put a poll right now. Chance podcast.
Anyway,
who knows more people, Chance or myself?
I'm going to put it on my shorts and we'll see. Who knows a lot of.
Oh yeah, because I ordered
another podcast. Yeah, see who knows.
No, you ordered too much.
Word, maybe you never know. But hey, shout out to our.
Thank you so much. You keep us
shout
going.
out to our followers and listeners and viewers, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, we need to find they need to find the name for themselves. Right. Yeah. What do they our followers? What are they called?
Very soon we'll get.
You need to be consistent enough for them to know.
Yeah. Otherwise,
bro, yeah, a lot of traveling, a lot of coaching. I was in CPD, bro.
You know,
I was in CPD.
My friend used to say, like, whatever chance you get to visit Cape Town, do it again. Yeah. If you get the chance to visit Cape Town, go. Even if it's like the 20th time, just go.
I'm still yet to find what's wow about.
Right, Cape Town is good.
I think I've
only been there for like 4 days, and that was like one of the best experiences I've ever seen. And I think it's arguably one of the most beautiful places in Africa. Yeah, true. Like compared to what we see on TV and the few places we've been to, comparing those places with Cape Town, it's just me.
You know what? I went there first time in winter. It was terrible. I think they got 2 days and that are just clouds. Just clouds, bro. When the clouds came out, we were actually literally under the
no sun.
The mountain, like literally under the mountain. But it was just overcast. And it was raining. And it was cold. So we got there, it was raining, played the match, it was raining, played the second match, it was raining. It's like a very bore. Then also I had a terrible tour guide. The person was guiding us Paningi. It was very terrible, so I didn't enjoy it because I don't need.
This is the first time.
First time, like this is 2023. Then I went this year now, right? Summer is like full on. Did we get rain? It was windy. I actually lost my cap, bruh. I had this nice old khaki cap, brother.
In the wind. That's windy.
I know it was windy. I had it like
tight strap,
bruh. Still, my take is Durban is more beautiful.
No,
Durban is more beautiful. Beach wise,
maybe it's because I've been in Durban more times than I've been in CPT. But maybe if you say the beach, come on,
it's nice, bro. I like
both
Durban
places
more.
Are nice, but then I
like Durban more than.
I think I like Cape Town more. Because I'm not just looking at the beach part. I'm looking at like the whole experience.
I think Durban's more organized than Cape Town. I have to do it
Durban
again.
Is scary.
Yeah.
Durban is
scary. I love
Durban.
CBD is I love.
Oh, nice. Did your team win though?
Yeah, we did well. We were 4th out of 9.
Okay.
So
which are the like schools? Were they like Zim schools or?
Nah, we were the only Zim school. We were the only international school, and then everyone else was from SA.
Okay. Oh, nice. No, coming out 4th is actually dope.
With 11 players.
Yeah.
Subs, Baba.
And considering the training, you must Sportsnet and SA compared to the schools decide.
Yeah, because we had 4 weeks of training, and we were dealing with. They were ahead of us. They had like 7-8 weeks on us. So it's looking good. Yeah. It's looking good.
Oh, nice. I love it. It's looking
good.
But yeah. Oh yeah, that's the week we didn't do the podcast.
Then I came back, then we didn't do the podcast because maintenance and get to Rostonia.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Do people know that this is where Rostonia happens?
I don't think they do.
This is where Rostoni
I don't think they do, but this is the home of Rostoni.
This is the home of Rostoni. Angasa.
Hey, you should come through on Sundays. Hey. Too bad African Finder. We're
going to talk about him.
Yeah.
Should we kickstart that?
Maybe we should. Oh, yeah, maybe
we should. Since you've mentioned.
Yeah.
There's a guy who's Kundai Chitima. He's a YouTuber.
Okay.
Right. I think he just does what African Finder does, but he does it for tourist destinations. I'm just guessing. Right. He was on about.
At least the sound is far.
He was on about. What was he on about? Kuti African Finder has been doing this "What's up, good people?" and it's doing his thing and it in Zim, and ZTA has not managed to capture his influence. South Africa, on the other hand, have signed him up to do his "Up, good people."
Yeah, like South African tourism.
Yeah. So Kundai Chitima says, I even tried to do this with Great Zimbabwe. That can fly my drones and document this was the authorities there. Like, and if you do that, we're gonna arrest you. What Maya? Right, he's that Ugandan or Ghanaian guy who comes like he does what these guys are doing and but so it's like when these organizations in Zim going to pay attention to us YouTubers here.
Us in Zimbabwe.
Yeah, because because imagine now what What's Up Good People is going to do for South Africa. And comparing to how expensive tourism is in Zimbabwe. If wherever that guy, if that guy is going to do that,
dude, that's the first thing I thought of. I was like, South African tourism is so cheap. Like the places in South Africa are so cheap, and it's a lot of places. Like in Zimbabwe right now, you just see people are just going to the Eastern Islands. Only there was a wave of time when Pawayenda ku Victoria Falls.
How are you going to Victoria Falls with that road, bro?
Right now, people don't go there. Now people go to the Eastern Islands. Yeah. The only time people are flexing, my tourist destination and whatever, it's always like Vumba, Inyanga, Mtare. It's the same place.
Kariba is far.
Right. Compared to South Africa, South Africa has got a lot of beautiful places which are even cheaper than these places here. And African Finder goes there. Imagine how many Zimbabweans, because it's got a Zimbabwean following, how many Zimbabweans is going to influence to go and experience those South African places before they finish all the Zimbabwean places. Because we also have Wanagonari Joe. We have places like they might not be like my tourist attractions, but they're places which are so beautiful to see and to be in.
It's expensive, boss. I think of my trip to Vic Falls. Where I can Vic Falls, Joburg. Like I can do stuff in Joburg.
There's a time my friend was like, you know what? We have to go to Inyanga to experience and whatever. It's going to be like 2-3 nights and then in the lodge, hotel, whatever. I was like, you know what? I think we're past that hotel lodge experience. We've had that.
Yeah.
We don't need it.
We're done.
We need the experience, sightseeing and
vibes.
I don't care about sleeping in a tent. I'm like, compared to the places I've been in SA or Lesotho, I'll be like, you know what? It's so cheap that side. I could save this money and just save this money and go and experience life there.
Because let's look. If I'm leaving Zim, right, with a comfortable bus, I'm gonna go to GWERU. That's $5 for me to get there. I'm going to get a bus, nice bus for like 700 to 800 rand, right? That's about 50 bucks.
Let's just say $50.
Ndashika. So I got to go travel chet.
55 rand.
55 utsoka.
Maybe can
to nekutsoka. And inini one way you Vic Falls. in two ways.
Damn it.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Even
One way to Victor.
Even the places you stay. Have you ever noticed how, like, I don't know South African tourism, how they got to where they are, but 5 stars in SA and 5 stars in Zim, it's so different. Like a proper lodge in SA, dude, those places are just too beautiful for my liking.
A 3-star in South Africa.
They are 3-star experience compared to 3-star experience in Zimbabwe.
Even in Zambia.
You know, I was even hearing like my brother, he was telling me he's in the UK. He was like, even in the UK, the hotel experience doesn't compare to the South African like experience. Like tourism here is just top notch. No, and yet it's so cheap.
I guess what they did, they were quite deliberate about what they want to do. And then I think what they also did is they built up places to go to. They built up a big, as a country, they built a big portfolio. Right? They a portfolio and it. People subscribed to it and it. And they're not subscribed to it. As a country, body, just like probably visit Rwanda is a big thing.
Yeah,
they're not doing my jokes, okay? But everyone has to be part of us. Companies, imagine, okay, GWERU can easily be a tourist destination. And
if we any country, agenda, any place can be a tourist destination.
Okay, any city, any town can be a destination, right? It's about what's there. What I like at the moment is how you've got all these businessmen trying to invest in soccer, trying to invest in, Maloji, a bar. It's then as a city, GWERU, what do you offer? Beyond Antelope Park, beyond Whitewaters, beyond Nemat.
Now Gwenoro.
Beyond that, they could be good right. GWERU this weekend. Party experience, bowling, Excite, Milan, right? Restaurant experience, Rostonio, Bradley, Black Pearl, and it. As business owners, they need to sit down and like, guys, this is the experience we have to give. We're rating you at. But how advertise also. Because now you've got these, it's like popcorn. Bradley Ambusimuka, Rostonio Japa, Black Pearl
Exactly, it's always like that in GWERU. Maybe because there's not
bowling Japa. Because of Excite whereas ideally what you want is the situation okay, let's do away with the GWERU, so-called GWERU stubborn market. Let's do away with that one. Let's attract a new market. Exactly. We have that in there. It's
possible.
We got people that come in from Harare, from Kwekwe, from Shurugi every week. Right? How do we replicate and distribute that around everybody?
It's not the municipality's job and my body's. Because you see, like, a body, like the issue we always talk about, even in entertainment, there's no entertainment body in GWERU. You're good, to push out what GWERU is known for events like this one. GWERU is known for carnivals. GWERU is known for chichis. Exactly, like a municipality is in that, board ratio is in that. We store in my timetable. People know, guys, July is popping in GWERU. They look forward to we have to be in GWERU. Though I think those bodies are shorter. Those are the ones which can push these agendas, because my bodies actually one who can invest in marketing and all these things so that otherwise okay, my place needs to pop. Like my Rostonio needs to pop, so that's it. But then if there was a body, it's also specialized on ribs and fish.
Whoever wants come in business are with you.
Exactly. I'm going to Bradley.
Yeah.
I'm going to Bradley. Yeah. Mushrooms and chance. So I think we don't have that yet. Is GWERU? I think we don't have a culture yet.
We culture, like, and we don't have exposure.
I think exposure we have it through TV and traveling, but then we are scared of our market.
TV is different from TV is acted out.
Mm.
You know, I've been looking at Netflix, to my cooking shows, to my reality TV, church and it. I like these are actually broke people. Ava vanhu vari kuita chinhu ichi ka ndo vanhu vakabroka man, but sichazi ndinoti maangles ari kungona macapture,
everything is on point.
kuti if we take that same production, give it to someone in Zim with that same amount
way up,
it will be way up.
Exactly.
Yo, unoza pari kuitwa mabudget sekona America mabudget production, and fortunately I think they've just got a bigger way of writing, they've got a bigger way of advertising, they've got the platform. But no,
this is low.
and you see, unfortunately, that's when that then determines how we then act. Authenticity yedu inobva messed up because of
that culture
atina.
Hey, it's crazy. But you say I think it's always like that. Could people will get love? Coming back to our story, could people you'll always get love outside of like your hometown?
What's that the verse in the Bible?
Most of the times.
Is that verse in the Bible? Yeah, Nazareth. But Jesus said odiwa kunze, but Nazareth tanga said.
Oh, words.
Yeah, there's like you always be appreciated out of your town.
Because I'm meeting like Vanakunde, they're just like chance and sometimes people who are close to you, even you yourself, you can't you don't realize your potential. People Vanuku or now cheaters, those are the people who can say this guy has got potential. But now if we are now in the same circle, sometimes we might not even see. We might see you've got potential, but then I don't tell you that every day. But when you meet people outside who know you
like,
from
yo, bro, what are you done?
This thing you're doing, it's big. You see. So yeah, hey, big shout out to the African Finder.
Now, big shout out to him, bro.
Yeah.
Congrats.
And I hope more content creators and more people get love in and outside Zimbabwe so they can push, because I say that
you get love if you do. I think you get love if you get consistency and you're genuine about
stuff.
Look, he's got a theme that he rolls with. He's got consistency that he rolls with. He's done it for years. Well done. Like flowers and that. Rostonyo chokupa Rostonyo.
Ngambo yambo.
What's up, good people?
But yeah, you were talking about my boards when I was saying like my board. I want to bring it to an issue. Yeah, the Casper show.
Yeah.
It was Glammy events, right?
Yeah.
The time you were in SA.
Yeah. How was that show?
Well, that's the best concert I've ever been to in GWERU.
Yo.
On God.
Could I get my Jungle Fever? Is that again there?
No, Jungle Fever 1, like
yeah.
No, that was the pinnacle. Yeah. No, that was the pinnacle because like it was all local. Papa's International Act, and then I think the main acts were like Kiki Bedes na Kruger.
Those are the days he was also on that stuff.
But yeah, so yeah, Jungle Fever was dope, but this was so dope. In my opinion, everything had changed. But then when stories started coming out, that's when I realized we really need an entertainment board in GWERU. But it's going to be difficult to have something like that because it seems as if people in GWERU are too pompous, like the promoters, they feel themselves too much to work with other promoters at the same time and give room for others to do their own thing. Because after the show, there was an incident here. People were throwing bottles on the stage because the artists were taking long to come. Order, the thing we always talk about, order my shows. But then at the same time, the people from Grammy events are like, we sensed sabotage from other promoters and stuff. So if we're still having that, this was a big show. We had an international act, and he's bigger than all the international acts GWERU so far.
Yeah.
and then you try to sabotage it.
And like, let's bring the whole town.
Exactly, the whole town was supposed to be together because, dude, this was perfect except Panyayo your time because it was now 1:30 and no artist had performed. It was around 1:15, and then people started throwing bottles and stuff.
Where do you throw bottles at?
Exactly, like the whole bottle thing. Those are to order. People are supposed to be drinking from like plastic and stuff when you come to shows. Plus, we're in a soccer field, a soccer stadium.
Why do we
have bottles in there? Like why? And then Panepanga Maporsa, they were throwing tear gas.
Oh shucks,
dude. We're in the middle of enjoying Casper there, and then they just throw tear gas in the middle of everyone. And then, so imagine you are kumberu kando tear gas, and there's people all.
Charles, it is okay. I don't check Ugo, boss. Inenge akupinda mu mic. Check Ugo. Ibo.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. But I was saying, bottles. Could we in a soccer stadium? It's supposed to be plastic and stuff like that. They overlooked all those things.
No, they don't know. They actually don't know.
No, dude, these people have got exposure. They've been going to events all around Zimbabwe. In Kunana, SA, Zambia, Namibia.
Nah, they don't know, bro. Anyway,
and
Chagata event Chagadaru Yeguti. Kupa cricket field. Pakasara pani mabodo. That was the color run.
I remember that time, that cold Saturday. It was color run, Duke and Slay.
Exactly,
But you see, time, there was a press statement. Time, there were time slots and everything. Now I don't know whether it was the press statement or it was the statement to me, one of the organizers, because I was asking, could he, dude, I'm hearing through the grapevine. Could he papa sabotage and whatever? What really happened? And then they told me everything that happened. There were actually time slots and everything. But then I remember they said, Holite and Anga Kuramba performer. This was the grapevine. And then it's like, I can't perform because all these other artists are like smaller than me. So I can perform before them. They should perform first and then I perform after. That's a silly thing to do.
No,
I don't know management, whatever. But he had come from performing at another Mahogany show. I think it was by the showground.
Lamek's birthday.
Yeah, exactly. And some people are actually saying Mahogany is actually, what do you call this, sabotaging them by having that event. I'm like, no, they're not sabotaging.
No, that's someone's birthday.
That's a birthday. They're allowed to go and do their own thing there. Because I think they actually came for the show after the birthday.
Hey, that's a birthday. Trash that.
But it was a very good performance, dude. Even like the setup your stage, the VIP was dope. Because now, for VIP, you could come on the stage. And Povoji in a commercial. So you see that now it's at order in the VVIP, but when we VVIP, I think they were getting a more restaurant. And they're like those biggest TV screens. Dude, I think those
on the side.
I think those screens are expensive. Dude, I was on the other end of the ground and I could see clearly.
So it was almost like what Jacaranda.
Exactly, those settings. No, that's why I'm saying this was the best. This was the best stage setting I've ever seen in GWERU. Like ever. I don't know if anyone akambona imwe, but but this was the best stage setting I've ever seen. Dude, the sound was 3D, proper sound. Dude, the sound was so dope. I'm telling you, sound was so dope. I got in town around 7 p.m. and I could hear people, the MC saying, dude, he was speaking, it was so smooth. I could hear it from Club Excite. I'm like, what? But it wasn't shouty or anything, it was just perfect, the lights. But when Casper performed now, Maskrinanga Tema, Papasina, and the lights, there was no lighting on the stage, and it was just bad. So you had to be close.
Shame.
But then overall, this show was dope. This show was super dope. Nice. But I still want like GWERU people to come together, especially like my promoters and stuff, and maybe one way to like a board or something. Whether they give each other time.
There's too much ego.
No,
there's too much ego.
You can't be saying too much ego when you keep on giving us like mediocre shows. We just go there because we no longer have anywhere else to go.
So
hoping. But when you go like Tunana Harare, Bulawayo, and then you go to these events, and then you jump outside, you go to like Zambia, you go Mozambique, you go South Africa, you see these other dope events, you're like, we have the potential to do this.
But
Why
I think
can't
funny, for me, there's a big immaturity. More
A
than
serious
ego.
one.
There's a big immaturity, pride, unnecessary pride.
Yeah, like someone says, GWERU is full of teenagers, 40 and 50-year-old teenagers,
Just
and they still act the same. And I think that's the thing, you know, it's out to cool.
yeah. And then same thing. It's less. Vakaenda kana UK vanenge vachingodhisana vari kuno
I hate that. Like I don't know. Even people will be like, "I quit this sister. I could shut the fuck up. Kwenyu kupi."
But it's just that there's that immaturity that.
Oh, rain.
Is that?
Yeah. But you're saying, wow. I know. Oh, rain is just coming from out of the blue.
Yeah, we need it though. Anyway, what I'm saying is, like what you're saying, Guti, well, you're right in saying that you need a board of one and I think you need a consensus as well. No, guys, round table yet garipa. DJ ningi, boss ningi. Takunza ubena boy. Ende ujigira.
For now atishiki papo. Plus nenya yekuti we've like you can be saying ndiwo uri kurana bawa at the same time ndiwo uri kurana my events at the same time ndiwo uri kurana mari dzacho ndiwo like you're doing everything uri wega. I think that takes energy away from you yekuita some other things, and then you end up doing like substandard stuff because you're doing everything, you're too busy. But if you had a whole management team who are doing things for you and stuff, then
I'll just say let's get one of these guys on the pod.
Nah, they don't want. I asked the other one, he said no. The other one akati anditi since akajako kudaro. And so it's only one, like Munweku Grammy events. No, I'm cool. Like, because
let's bring him.
And then I'm thinking now, I'm like, but we can't talk to you, Kundai, and you tell us your side of the story. No, and the other person can tell us their side.
No, let's bring him. He tells us his side of the story. Whenever the other guys are ready to address that side of the story, then they can come, or then they can talk about it somewhere else.
Yeah, but I see GWERU entertainment scene going down the drain, and I think Grammy was kind of a savior. Because this is going to put pressure on other houses to do stuff. Because you see,
I have someone they counted kuti kukusina kwajambiwa munhu 3,800 tickets.
Exactly.
3,800 tickets.
Imagine that. Dude, and I think it was more because that ground. Rara kasvika 18 area yokuside kunoko. Rara kadarika half. Kumberi ndo kwakuri pegged kunoka. It was like free space, free standing. I just didn't want to be up in the because I didn't want to go there. So I was just like, let me just go now and give someone my ticket and come back home. I went there at 11. People were still going in. Then I was
did you
say
Dukensley?
No. Where was it this time? Was it Harare? No, Dukensley is always packed.
Drone raka fly ude ocean. Raka fly ude. Raka maichingwe.
I hope as dudes will also have an event like the Nama baby.
What? Are you mad?
Serious. I'm always telling guys, we can have fun without
gay fest.
No, it's not even. Why is
Are you mad?
Why is it not gay fest when it's like ladies?
No. Ladies are allowed to do that. Men are just not allowed to just chew and drink and do. Are you mad?
Nah, you're boring. Anyway, let's move on to our next topic.
I'm not paying you.
You're boring. Which means you don't enjoy my barbecue. But we're always doing my barbecue.
Not 50,000 of us.
Whatever.
Are you mad?
Anyway, let's move on. Hey, there's a Anthony Edwards story. The basketball player, the young people player. I'm not so sure.
I saw something about that.
How old is AE? Let me just check. So, Akamitisa, a lady, was like older
than him.
I think she's like mid-30s.
And he's youngin.
Anthony Edwards. And then he's that young. So he was like, I don't want this baby. You can take care of the item. The lady was like, my body, my rules. And so according to Twitter, now she had allegedly she had the baby. And then AE is like, but I said I don't want. He's 23. Yeah, it's like, but I don't want. She's also baby mama to some top people in the industry, like entertainment industry. So people are now saying she's a gold digger. She's in mid-30s and arinaita mwana wemunhu 23 years. Iye ari kuti andisikuda chichi, you shouldn't keep it. And okay, people were saying AE is wrong for not wearing protection. Yes, he is. On his side, he's wrong. He's a kid. He's still learning.
No,
but
he's not
this,
a kid. He's 23.
Yeah, he's 23. Okay, but this grown up now, she's being told kuti ina andisikuda, and then she's like manje indrukuda chichi. It's like she trapped. Like people are saying she trapped him. And then now she has the baby, and AE is like allegedly, because that's what I've been seeing on the Twitter news and everything. I don't even know how the court proceedings went, but they say he said, I'm going to pay the child support for 18 years, and then he paid it. Yes, like a one. And then it's like,
crazy.
I don't want to be associated with it. And then people now are saying, hey, deadbeat. Hey, a person can't hate his child like this. I'm like, but this guy said, I don't want to allow you. When it was still a small pregnancy, let's get rid of it. And then they said no. And now the baby's there. He's like, okay, I'm going to pay child support. Now the guy has paid child support and everything. And now they're like, deadbeat. And then some guys are saying, these women are saying that because they wanted Anthony Edwards to be paying it monthly for the next 18 years. And women have got this tradition iripo inotozivikanwa nevanhu vakawanda kuti vanotya mari dzemaintenance. The maintenance money doesn't go to the child like 100%. And it's a problem we have even here in third world countries. You've seen that kuti mwana anogona achitumigwa mari yekutoti aende MCC but achidzidzisa palundi.
Okay, yeah.
But the mom will be slaying big time.
Big time, which is another problem of single parent households, like we've talked about before. But then those niggas cheated, and I was like, I think we now have a problem. It's now a pandemic, because these are the things we are seeing on the news, and we consume a lot of American TV, and now we have single mothers in Zimbabwe who think giving birth is a paycheck. But if I give that to this guy, like now guys want to trap you. Now it's dangerous to sleep with a woman. And yes, we are supposed to abstain, and it's going to push a lot of people.
So that's the thing.
But this culture is very wrong. And I think our women should like go back to the drawing board.
But also just sleeping around is a bad thing.
It is, that's what I'm saying. It's going to push people to abstain. But at the same time now, we are at risk.
I don't think one big, Baba.
Let me tell you one thing. The poverty that's in Zim right now, you'll be surprised how many girls want to come and stay with you. I stay with my parents, but you'll be surprised how many girls are like, don't go to Zira, and then I'll come and stay. Because they just want to get out of that environment they grew up in and go to a new environment, which seems better, which has got like a bigger yard or whatever. That alone. Now imagine kanawani bus, because girls right now they just want to nanda bus.
I don't drive.
A person who's got a paycheck cannot drive. A person is driving a $5,000 car is getting paid maybe $300 at work. That alone can have you trapped.
No, trappy behavior is fun. Like it's loaded up in like a triple bag. Like,
bro.
There are certain people that are moving around, like girls will move around and it's graffiti, it's left, it's in the wagati, you get what I'm saying? And
they're studying.
Often, many of them also misjudge. Many of them misjudge, especially now that fake
and then they bring kids into this world who are going to start struggling.
Okay, first things first, Chancer, as I always say, men take.
Yeah, but in this case, even women have to be leaders, and they are not.
This kid knew that he's fucking with someone older.
But
potentially,
who take like.
Make sure the next morning that she's taking.
What if she refuses? You know, women these days and their rights. I know today I don't feel like taking the pills. I don't want. You're not going to.
So no. Just make sure that you wear.
After the act.
So you've already been irresponsible.
Because sometimes it might just break and then I'm not
All I'm saying is, if you're going to do the deed, if you decide to go unprotected, just expect the consequences that are coming with it. Pregnancy,
No,
HIV.
even if you're protected, like at this age,
Yeah.
we should know that.
Ora. Iribo. Come on.
At this age, you should know that sleeping with someone means you are ready
Thank you.
to have a
Because
kid.
if your
whether
dick,
there's protection
if
or
your
not,
dick
you
can
should-
stand, if
Exactly.
your dick can stand and get into a vagina, you are ready to take.
you should know that now I'm
If
ready
you
to
can
take care
stroke-
of a kid. Exactly. Otherwise, don't.
If you can stroke, it
Otherwise,
means you
don't.
can take care.
But then this is us speaking. We are not 23. We are not 21.
No. I
Eh,
think
eh,
for
it is-
any
it-
child,
it
for
is-
anyone who,
no,
who
I-
understands that a dick is
I
took
know,
and gotten in a
I know,
vagina.
and some people learn the hard way. When you were 21 or 23, this is not how you thought. This was not the mindset that you had at that point. And some of us who were actually in college at that time. You don't even care.
Okay.
Listen, and
Can we
someone,
set a precedent?
someone who's 35 years should be mature enough to say, umfana
And
no, serious. Right now, I'm putting blame on the women. Because I'm saying this is the same issue
If
with...
it can just
No, this is the same issue with 2004. You listened to 2004. When YG was like, when I was 14, I got raped by a bitch twice my age. Like, that story was talking about, like, you see, this woman is like in her late 20s and whatever, and she's sleeping with a kid who's like 14. It's now different from this one because they say they're like adults who can consent to that. But still, as a grown-up, as long as you're older than the person who you're having relations with, you should be mature enough to be fair.
life's not fair, Chance.
Yes, life is not fair, but we're just saying for us to be better people, what are we supposed to do?
Right. First of all, teach these little boys that at 18, kana watongofura 18 are responsible for everything that you're going to do.
Yeah.
We can't continue providing a cushion for boys.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
cannot.
But
Right?
eh.
Because when they mess up, they're like, murume mukadzi. Probably akagenga mume angari mfana.
But yes, but again, it goes deep. It goes deep, like when YG was saying, so don't ask me why I move like this today. And why every time I see a girl, I just want to hit, I just want whatever and everything. And that problem, I remember even in high school, there was a time when we sat down as boys and we started talking nyayas. I shit you not, 90% plus of the people we were chilling with, and I believe they were abused by their mates. Most of them, like, we were just talking stories, and when we were talking there, it was so cool. Someone is like, I slept with the maid. Hey, Chichi, I was like 13. I was like 15. They were
shit,
actually younger, or
that's-
even in primary school. And the maids that we had at that time, they didn't think enough to say, I'm going to mess up the brains of this child as they grow up. Because now, their life is just, they're thinking of sex every time. And people are always like, Zimbabwe people just think of laying, whatever. No, it's because it's not like the men are not being my leaders, are they right? It's because of the trauma that they have from shit that happened before.
Yeah,
So
but
there was a mistake
so
that
that
happened.
kid was supposed to be educated enough to then say, listen, Sisi Nengi did this to me.
Do you know?
Yeah, it was down.
No, at that time, obviously, if they are kids, and most of them don't get to tell their parents because it's embarrassing, and sometimes they feel like they're also wrong because you are going to down. But then,
Exactly.
as you are young, you're not yet like mature enough to know, because it's the same as saying, "Mwana muskana angani 14 years, aizvidao." You go to jail for that, whether it's vidaka or not. You go to jail because you're
then
mature enough
we
to
need to
stop the act.
send these so-called mates to try.
But then now you don't find them because in any maids, I remember them, but then I don't even remember where they stay or where they came from. And
But
stuff
you
like
got track
that.
of
That was years back. Now maybe they're actually married. And imagine Munakadaro, let's say I can abuse. Let's say an example of an abuser. Nothing does without this person was like, let's say was a maid in like 2003. And I was still a kid.
Hey,
That's what I'm
I
saying.
got violate.
Yeah, but she's probably maybe late 40s and
Me
then she's
Too
married
movement.
and we don't even know where she is. Exactly, Me Too, but that Me Too movement yakashanda to people who are affluent, celebrities. Because it's very easy to pinpoint kuti ningi uyo ndomuziva, ningi uyo ndomuziva. Ko ava vasingazivikani. So let's not blame men every time men are not being leaders, because at some point there are older women than these boys who are supposed to be leaders to the boys and examples, but they are not playing their part. As
Fair.
simple as that.
Fair.
As simple. Both Anthony Edwards and his girlfriend, in my opinion, were wrong. We are wrong.
Plus akudila nemunhu neamaturity yemunhu abhadhira 18 years dzaka.
Exactly. And that but it was nothing to him, because they were like, it sums around 2.3 million, the whole 18-year item, of which EA is getting paid something like 60 million per year.
Okay, but anyway,
It's just going to be a problem for the kid, because the kid is going to be saying dead.
I was rejected.
Yeah. So I think all of us should lead, whether men or women. Everyone should play their part.
Should just be moral.
Thank you. You don't need to be religious to be moral.
You need to be moral. Just
simple as that.
Have morals.
Yeah, but you also had another topic. What other topic that you sent me?
Was the
African Finder one.
Yeah.
Hey, why am I forgetting? Let me check my DMs. Problem I want to have a notebook.
I didn't get notebook and more. I enjoy your room record. But you had more, man. You were talking about that single chick.
Oh, what's her name? Tracy Ellis.
Yeah.
Ellis Ross. Yeah, this podcast. I haven't watched it.
Obama,
I just saw it this
Obama.
morning. It's Michelle Obama.
And the brother.
Hey, that was dope content.
And the
I
brother.
just watched the clips.
She's now 56 and she hasn't found a partner.
And she says it comes with like, is it loneliness or?
Yeah. Look, also what happens, again? Though we don't have these people that end up. What I've seen, these people that end up with those.
Or she was like the grief she experiences not having kids or a partner at this age.
Yeah. It comes also with the career. You're so focused in, because if we want to go back and look at someone like her or her and look at windows that opened up for her to be with someone, what did she do?
She was like, I'm still busy.
Thank you. And it's always the case. I'm too busy, or she can't deal with the trauma.
But sometimes it's not just her being a celebrity, but it's every woman. Even if you're going to work, have you ever noticed good women who have careers or who are going to school say, focus on masters yangu. Those are the women who actually get to their 40s, 50s.
Also, Panama windows of opportunity that open up in each decade. When you're 20, and then those guys kept on knocking, and
they went their way.
Then they found their personality.
Get your 30s.
30s, same thing. 40s, same thing. 50s. Unfortunately, look at this guy like here. Serious. And one, probably if they're single and 50 at the same time, they're broke or they're very narcissistic or they are messed up.
She was like, they're stuck in the past.
They are messed up, and you want to go younger. Youngest just wants to smash.
And you don't want that at this point.
And also, other thing is, you then look at the 2-3 that potentially were macking on you back then, and now they're happily married. They don't care about it.
Hey.
So it swings with men, right? The older you are and the more successful you are, the range.
The graph. Exactly.
The range opens up.
More.
It's shorter. It's closed up when you're younger. But kanogeta mari uri single, uri old, range opens up because now you've got from your age till legal.
Like 20.
To legal. Can I legal? 16. To 16.
Exactly.
From she's 56.
But also, I think there's a point where she became too busy.
I think so.
Like
Hollywood
because I know a lot of girls start feeling some type of way around their 30s. And even Isusu, we are now saying, these girls, why are you 30 and single? So imagine from 30 to 50, she was so busy such that it kept her busy and she forgot about like, okay, I don't need a partner. I'm cool like this. But now she's talking, I love that she's now talking about the griefs she's experiences. Because a lot of women try to run away from it and then they're like, nah, I'll just be alone.
Adopt. The grief comes back with school run, athletics day, consultation, band of joy, a holiday.
and
mommy,
you have no
auntie,
one,
auntie,
you
mommy,
have no
mommy, mommy.
grandkids, no whatever. And sometimes even if you're an auntie, as soon as the kids grow, they're not yours anymore. They're adorable.
School fees, yo.
Yeah. And now it also brings me to the point here that I got 19 keys on his podcast. He was explaining something on high level conversations. He was like, women feel fulfilled when they, was it 19 keys or it was Andrew Tate? I'm not so sure, but one of the two. They were like, women feel fulfillment when they give birth and nature something of their own, like a baby. That's what makes them feel fulfilled. And then men, they feel fulfilled if they take care of something. Like I went out and I worked and I came back and I provided. Those are the things that make these two genders like feel good. I'm a man, I'm a woman. Yes, you are a man, you can take that away from me, but for you to feel like I'm a man, you need to provide and take care of a family. Same with the woman, she needs to give birth and nurture something. So if you get to those ages and you have a nature, you were saying when you get there, you'll have this massive depression. Which is why you see a lot of celebrities now, they talk and then they're like, I was too busy during my time, whatever, but I wish I had a kid. But then it's all fine because it's better than having someone who's abusive. And, but I feel like people should learn from this. They should learn from this, especially chicks in their 20s, because I always talk about this with you. I'm like, boys keep grudges. And
I'll remember.
Men keep grudges.
I'll remember what you did to me when I was 22.
All the chicks were kuramba ever since high school. Up to now, when you're 30, it's like grafra korakwira. All the ladies want you, whatever.
I will start following up and hitting one by
one. And then
one.
usually boys, they follow up and then they just want to fulfill their sexual fantasies. They just have sex with you and then they go. You know, you're thinking, could he still have that love you have to chase, and you know, he just wants to have fun with you and go. And then he'll say, I'll look for someone else who has been my friend for a very long time, or a young chick who I don't even know, where I just started dating, and then I'll choose
and I'll build with.
Instead of,
because remember, you're also collecting baggage. But my days and leg would
and usually most girls running by show that the older guy is better.
And then
if that older guy doesn't, that's the downside of the female biological clock. I don't know why it was like that, but for men it's actually advantageous as you grow. And for women, hey, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. Chero ne hunhu wakaita sei. Munhu anongokubvunza kuti how old are you? You're 30. Why don't you have husband?
Also ngofunga tumwe question unoti chine trauma.
Topiwega unotozova kuti ichi chaitonetsa. Chinenge chakatopinda marelationship 20 ka. Inopandopinda 21 then rimwe zibhazi rikumashiri. So yeah, it's crazy.
Unoenda kubhawa then next tonzi I'm done.
Yeah. But I found the item you're talking about. It was about the kid who couldn't speak their native language. I think Angabakulans or something. Actually, kuna mai waki translate. And I was thinking, I was watching Penny's show this other time. I was like, no, you can't force me to mwana wangu adzidze Zulu or whatever, because my children, the other one is in China, the other one Argentina, whatever, so they need to learn those languages. I was like, yes, we understand that, but I think Penno doesn't understand what happens in Zimbabwe. A lot of people think it's Taira, because as you are your native language, and to know English more than you know your native language. So that thing, I think you have to find out what this is, because even schools, preschools, elementary school, primary schools, they are now focusing on English more than anything else. It's fluent in English. Fluent in English, I'm going to maths, I'm going to science, I'm going to and then what?
Then what? But okay, I'm going to chirungu, but majority of the society that we live in is going to speak Shona. In the event that, alright, Zimbabwe mass visa, and business is going to be communicated in our native language. Let's look at English. Some of them cannot even join 3 sentences.
But
they don't enunciate words. And they are really cool. And they are nose. But look at the leaders that are standing in front of us. They do not sound anything close to what we grew up knowing.
Exactly.
But I'm going to pay chapter page. So, for me, what language is culture, language is religion, language is what gels
it helps
people.
You get through.
How does my gogo then be able to.
There's now a disconnect in the family. And you see the thing, like we were talking about last week when we were chilling, we were like, "Gudoraka bata pembe." In a case here, not to talk down or look down on anyone, but mostly people who were underprivileged when we were growing up, people we saw as underprivileged when we were growing up. Now those are the people who, in our eyes, are the rich ones. Not rich ones, but people who are getting
Earning, they're earning.
easily. They're earning, exactly. There's cash flow coming in. Because most of them are hustlers, mangomachichi. Those are the people who would see. I don't want to put myself in those brackets, but I went to a school that were English. Like when I was in high school, I never even used to speak in Shona, dude. Like it was just English straight up. And those people, maybe they were going to like my public schools, they're trying to Shona, and then they look at you and then they're like, I'm not gonna chirungu, whatever. But
Wow.
it was just a language that I but when we came home, I was speaking in Ndebele with my parents, Shona and stuff, exactly. But even imagine now they're like, ndodoti mwana wangu aite sakunda ikunda ipaire ku high school ka. Saka mwana wangu ndoda kuti atange before high school. Atange kachiri ka
then
and
that's
then
wrong,
now
bro.
they put away the whole kana mwana wangu akomba hi how's been your day and then you're talking to your child in English at home, in a Shona home or in Ndebele home, and you're talking to them in English because you don't want them kuti vazive Shona and Ndebele kuti it looks cool to have. And those are the people now who are raising these kids, and then vakuva push out where it is. Same things that I chiti. No one vakona unge zvinestaira kuita school run. School run. Lunch box in a poloni. Dude, our lunch boxes. Didn't we grow up like lunch boxes and a poloni? Because
That was the cheapest lunch box.
Exactly. They make second out chikoro ne rice kana chingwa chine majani. Like you had to have eggs.
A burger or a lunchbox was.
And most of the times we never used to eat that food.
Yeah.
Like we'd go and give our kids at school.
Because a typical lunchbox had to have a slice of bread with something in between.
In between, exactly.
Jam or peanut butter or polony. And then, or
eggs.
ham.
Or eggs, exactly.
Eggs, exactly. They had to have 100. Or in the paper break, in the paper lunch.
Exactly.
Then open your pocket money out as choose the one not think out big.
I never used to get 2 lunchboxes. I had 1 lunchbox, paper break, and then I had pocket money for lunch. Because we used to eat at the DH. We would go and get food at the DH to get food with you. So now people
it's diminished though.
So those things were just normal things that were supposed to be done by parents to their kids. Those are not the things that defined kuva wealthy or kuva rich or to be higher on the social ladder. There are more things to being higher on the social ladder. But those people saw that, and now they are pushing an agenda kunzunzuri higher on the food chain. Come on, those things. I think there's a disconnect there. And especially people who have gone to the
disconnect
UK.
is on. You cannot then communicate fully with your child because they're English and chilling with some kids. Now a child is saying, I can't eat this because not a munyavi. Has your man how to say
All right.
has your but I will bones on mine. No, why are you allergic to? What happened?
You want on the Kenyan?
It's called hives.
I didn't even know that.
So, but it's something we grew up knowing that if we're going to speak in English, we speak in English in its entirety. And your say, if we switch to English in our family, we have kind of mix out munyaviri and if I switch to Shona, would use Shona and it was 0.
And maybe that's why we don't speak like Shona Irifu. Like I noticed that when I went to SA, those guys speak in Zulu. Why? Straight up. No English word in between, nothing. As when we're speaking Shona on Ndebele, there are some words I not Kangana, and then you throw in some English words.
If you don't know it in English, you throw it in Shona.
You like flowers, you don't say Marua. You say I chichi. So yeah, I think that's a wrong thing for for parents to be
to be drilling into a
I
child.
think I
The
think they
child should speak Shona. English is a substitute.
English is a language that it's supposed to
Chikoro.
kuti mwana ave equipped nayo kuti when he goes to places where there are other people who speak Ndebele who can speak Shona, they speak that language, universal language type of like
Anofana ngona ndikaona mukara ndikaona murungu I need to speak in this language. Ndikaona munhu mutema I need to speak Ndebele and
it's not something that puts you on top of the social ladder. No, it's just a way to
and
go
it's
by
actually
life.
what people don't understand. Mwana asikagoni in these languages, self-esteem yake inodrop.
But if I want English, you know, I'm confidence.
No.
This other friend of mine, she was like, I'm going to English, yes, you know, because in that it's not confidence. And
No.
I was like, oh.
It's even so the way that person was saying, and that's not going to when your child cannot speak Shona, it's self-esteem drop. But I just come and talk about Pastor Raji.
Sean.
Sure.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, rather chirungu chichopewe mda. Chitochopewa rather kutochopa chirungu.
Hey, but let's move forward.
Yeah.
Because Kadot is Ambura. But anyway.
Coming in strong, yeah.
Or maybe we'll finish the other topics.
Yeah, other topics.
We
We'll pick them up.
want to try the
Yeah,
online thing.
yeah,
so I'll have these other topics as a part 2 for this, and then we speak
tweet on
over the
that,
internet.
yeah. Because that one as well. I want to. That one that's gonna take a long
Right.
time. Because into an example, I'm just going to tell you.
Yeah, so we'll have to put them down, create our item right now, like our
And it
our
for
notes.
the next year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
man.
It was good. It was great.
Yeah, man.
Hey, sorry people, we have to cut our podcast short. But
Saka,
it is what it is.
chichiri chakatra. But chafara botoro. There's a storm above us.
For now, yeah.
Unfortunately, those are the things. But mukara subscriber. Tosvika pa point that one day tichaso ku ikozvona kunge background yatatsi isingaoneki, you know what I'm saying? Cheers.
Yes.